I decided to make this short video just as an entry, really. So I have, for the past few months, if not a few years, been experiencing a lot of anxiety and a lot of negative feelings with regards to my work and my work-life balance, and I have been thinking a lot about my life and how much I don't like it. My partner and I came back from New Zealand 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, actually. In September. On September, I think it was the 16th. It would be 2 years. So we were in New Zealand for almost a year and a half, a year and 4 months. A place that everybody loves and thinks is absolutely beautiful. We both absolutely hated it. When I tried to think why we hated it, I think, well, the reason why I hated it was because I was working for 12 hours a day. 12, 10 hours, 8 hours. And even though the money reward was quite nice, I think deep down inside I didn't believe in that being the reason why I am alive. So I've grown really, really tired over the past few years. I'm just more and more tired, which you can see. I'm growing more tired. I'm growing more unhappy. I'm currently on sick leave. This is going to be my second week of work. I've got one more week. I'm going to ask possibly for maybe another week just to kind of fully rest for a little while. But what I really wanted to do is to take this time and think about myself. I've been reading a couple of books, which I can put links to in the description of this video. And I watched a quite short Netflix film about minimalism, which I can also put a link to, which I greatly recommend to see, to think about one's life. And I'll show you briefly around my room, well, our workshop. It starts here, tons of clothes, books, shit, more shit. And that's just one part of the house. So there's quite a lot of stuff. There's a refurbishment going on at the moment, which you can hear in the background. So fair enough, right? This is probably 2 rooms worth in one room. But even once this is empty, I believe there's too much. And my partner tried to convince me before to get rid of some of my stuff. And I think I am now starting to finally see that I think I'm holding on to a lot of stuff, probably physically and emotionally. So because I have one more week of work, I will take this time to do a bit of a clear up, tidy up. I'll try to document it and see how I feel, as at the moment I feel really tired, and I just feel kind of helpless, because even though I'm off sick, it's nice, you get to rest a little bit, but in the back of my head I'm thinking, well, I'm still going back there in 2 weeks' time. So I think I'll have a proper think about what it is that is important to me, because I truly I I believe I don't know what's important to me, what are my values, what I want. Um, a part of me wants to paint, um, but because of the lifestyle that I have, it's very difficult to incorporate that into normal life. It's difficult because work takes so much time and energy, and if it's something that is draining, you come home and don't really want to do anything more. And then you've got all this other stuff that you need to take care of. The house, garden. I don't mind the garden. It's not a lot of work. I made it in a way that, it's just requires the lawn to be mowed and a few weeds pulled out. But that's really it. It doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of stuff, a lot of clutter everywhere. And I think it just lingers, and it just sits there. And I do feel I need to have a specific type of job with a specific amount of income to continue living the way I am, to continue supporting all of these goods that are around me. And I wonder if it's just unnecessary, and if I can maybe in any way make my life simpler so that I could do something different with my life. And once I make up my mind, do I want to paint, find a way that I could, do this rather than continuing on like this, because it's draining. And really, I wanted to leave the UK in 2016 because I was already feeling like this. I was feeling a bit of a burnt out mess. And I guess because of the sheer intensity of work there once we arrived, it completely just, out of that little bit I had left, just left me absolutely empty. I came back, regenerated a little bit, and it wasn't enough to keep me going. And I just want to understand this process in my head, because it's obviously telling me I'm not on the right path. There's something wrong and I need to fix it. So yeah, I'm going to start with the declutter, and let's see how long it takes and how much shit I have in my life that I do not need. To be absolutely honest, I did start this process a couple months ago. A very mild tidy up took place. I kind of went through a couple of cupboards, and I did get rid of about 4 50-liter garbage bags full of unnecessary shit, ranging from clothing, old pillows, duvets. I would now like to go back and see how much more I can get rid of, because the first step was just to be able to put all my clothes into one wardrobe. And my wardrobe is quite big, which I'll show you the next day. But 50% of my clothes were under my bed, this huge ottoman bed in bags. So I wasn't ever removing these clothes from these bags. They were just in there. And when we went to New Zealand, it was mainly me. I got a container and I filled it with all my stuff. And I took it all to New Zealand, put it all in boxes, right? Took it to New Zealand, shipped it there. It arrived. I unpacked maybe one box. The rest of the stuff stayed in their boxes until we decided to return in those same boxes. We shipped everything back. Now, it was 99% my stuff. It was my clothes, various random bits, things that I have maybe kind of personal attachment to, things like books and paperwork, and my CD collection, which I never listen to. I never listen to it except a couple of the CDs that I have. So I am going to go through my stuff and I'm going to see what I really want there, what I want to keep in this house, and what I can get rid of. Because now even I'm looking at my shelf where there's a couple of books, and out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books that are there in that little piece, not the whole thing, I only value 2 of those books. The rest I haven't even opened. I bought them, but they're there. They're just on my shelf. I bought them ages ago and never ever looked into them and put them away. I also have a few books that I took from my grandpa's flat when he passed away. They were his old mathematics books. So I had he loved math. So it's just a piece of him that I'm trying to hold on to. But I never looked in those books. They're outdated anyway. Behind me, all these books. Yeah, Maggie Thatcher. I have a lot of books that I want to read, but there's also a bag of books above me in the attic that I just put in a bag because I got them from my parents, because they brought them from Canada, and they're just sitting in that bag. I tried to read a couple of them, but they're not of any interest to me. So, these kind of things I want to get rid of. I want to get the guts to get rid of it, because at the moment I'm even thinking about it and thinking, oh fuck, burning books, that's like a sin. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this house that I think needs to go, and because it's getting refurbished, I think this is also an amazing opportunity, like my partner said, to make this place actually, better. See if it works, see if it makes me feel better. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff. I went through, just in the past few months, I did go through, we have 2 sheds outside. I did empty those sheds. I emptied them completely, took everything out. And I did bin a humongous amount of rubbish, I did. But there's still stuff in there that I think I can get rid of. To give you an example, we used to have more sheds outside, and throughout the years we took them apart because they, started to rot, come apart and that, and we would save bits of timber. Painted timber that you can't even burn because it will stink the place up, in case we need to patch something up. Old bits of fencing. I know that behind the sheds there's old gutters that I kept because I wanted to put the gutters around the shed. It's been a year they've been there. There's a lot of old paint that I used when I first moved into this place, that I used to paint this house. I don't think you should even keep paint outside for more than a few months. It's been there for 6 years. And I'm sure once I start uncovering stuff, I'll find more. But it is, like I said, I already started this process a little bit. So, there was a thing that I was holding on to. It was a stupid example, a grass trimmer. I bought the grass trimmer for 20 quid. And the only thing that was wrong with it is that I couldn't get a spool to fit it, because I think they stopped making these trimmers, so you can't get the spool anymore. So I held on to that gas trimmer for the 2 years we've been back from New Zealand, with the intention of buying a spool that you can just kind of wind inside and pop in. So after the 2 years, I ended up buying a new trimmer, and that trimmer was still in that shed, untouched. So just the other day, I put it in the bin. It works, but getting rid of stuff that it might be a waste in somebody's eyes. It might be a waste. It probably is a waste. But I think I need to get to a place where I can just bin the stuff I don't need. I'll never fix. Give it away. You can't give away a trimmer to charity or whatever. So I did just put it in the bin, because I didn't want to think twice about it. I didn't want to put it beside the bin, because I won't take it anywhere. I don't feel like putting it up on Gumtree for somebody. I'm sorry, for somebody for collecting it for free to see if they can get it to work. I just don't have the energy for it. There's too much stuff that if I do that with one thing that's worth £20, was worth £20, what will I do with all the rest of this shit that's worth a lot more? Will I be putting every single item on Gumtree? I don't think so, because I'll be sitting in this room for months. So I don't want to get myself in that place that I think I need to sell everything or, not waste it. I'll do my best. I'll give away everything I can to charity or family, friends, whoever wants it. And what I can sell, I will. But I am not making that my priority. Making a profit out of my belongings is not what I intend at this moment. I just want to free my head. That's my priority. And if I waste a bit of money on it, that's on me, because I shouldn't have bought it in the first place. Yeah, my CD collection, another example. I'll show you guys this, because there's not much, right? Yeah, it's not much behind that plant. It sits there. Who listens to CDs now? Like, seriously, who listens to CDs? When we were in New Zealand, there was an offer, a big sale on classical music CDs. It's big packs. I like classical music. And there's a few artists that I really, really enjoy listening to. But I probably shouldn't have bought 20 different packs of CDs. Maybe one of the one that I like. I used to listen to it. To be fair, I did listen to it. But then it becomes such a fuss to be trying to find what you want to listen to. It's just easier to put YouTube on. So what's the point? Plus, when you have to move, they take up a lot of space for what you can now store on a mobile device or a laptop digitally. It's maybe the sound doesn't sound the same, but I'm not really too fussy about that. And at least it doesn't take a whole cupboard. Yeah, there's lots of things in this room that I'm looking at now and thinking, Jesus, there's a tablecloth over my document drawer. The document drawer is full of paper. Why is it full of paper? I'm not a business. I don't need to hold on to all that paper. I've got a shredder that I got from a friend when she was moving to Australia. I haven't used it yet, and she moved away like 6 months ago. I keep piling stuff into that cabinet. Yeah, so anyway, just wanted to say that's the beginning of my story. Probably today, tomorrow, I'll start, I'll finish reading the books that I started about just minimalism, because I really feel like they're very enjoyable to read. So I'll finish those, and maybe maybe tomorrow or Monday, I'll start the cleanup process and see how much house I can get rid of within the next week. Give myself a week. It's Saturday today, so till next Saturday. It's a lot of time. I think it's enough time, taking into consideration that there's really 2 rooms. There's this room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. I think I can do that in a week. It would be good if I would go back to the sheds as well when I can, if I have enough time, and just get rid of stuff. And see how I feel afterwards. Yeah. And also see what else I need to do in my life to make it less focused on consumables and on consuming and on buying, purchasing, spending money. Is there anything I can do or should do to make it less about that, for me to need less, to not need a job for £35,000 a year? Maybe I could get a simpler job that pays less money, or stay in the job I have to be able to save up a little bit and see where I go from there. One thing's for sure, I need to change something now. It's been I think about 4 years now that I've been feeling, since I started feeling like this, and it got me to such a horrible place that it's starting to affect my normal functioning. So I know I need to do something now. So yeah, I'll start with this.